Hello, welcome to welcome to the Corner Bird Studio. Be doing another live stream today on finishing up this sculpt. So did I do one or two live streams for this one? Maybe one. But so I finished this part for that live stream one of the days, and today I'll be working on just like refining it, because right now a lot of parts look really soft. So for context, let me make out what the hell is this? Oh, right. I need to organize these later. Still coughing, but I'm not sick. It's just nerve stuff. It's so annoying. But just for context, I've been trying to kind of like do it, because I haven't done like mecha stuff or a lot of hard surface modeling, and I'm trying to do very organic sculpting to hard surface. So this was basically what I did for, I know it's too bright. This is what I did for all of this stuff. So there's like some pros and cons. The pros is that it's really fun to do it this way, because just for another context, if you're new to my channel, I usually do like more organic sculpting like this and very detailed. So it's very different. It's a very different style and workflow to do hard surface stuff like this. And yeah, so because this was made, this is made for a birthday card for one of my nephews. He likes Gundam. His name starts with M. So I was thinking like it's a really good small practice. So this was just like a few hours of work, maybe a total of like 7 hours, just because it's like my first time doing hard surface Gundam, like mecha things, and I really like Gundam. I always feel like it's more of the I don't have the time to make them, but when I do make them, it's like I really like them. I really like this one too. I have a couple in the shelf. So I would say that it is kind of a dream of mine to sculpt Gundam stuff one day. And I'm really glad that, I guess like I'm always happy when things are aligned, like making a birthday card for someone who really likes Gundam. Like those kind of small coincidences always makes me happy. Like it gives me excuses to like spend time to do things that otherwise it's very different from what I usually do. And hello KZLC, Colored Pink, Barbatos. I think there's a madcap. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, actually it's like on a pink madcap right now, because I feel like it shows the I was thinking the previous what was it called? The previous stream, the whites and the dark, like the midtones, it's very hard to balance the overexposed areas on like the camera. And I guess this one, it kind of evens out the overexposed areas. Yeah. It's Barbatos sculpting today. And then the previous stream, I was doing this Hello Kitty. It was also pink. And today, every stream I will try to do like a learning. I need to like figure out how to name this section, but it's like the learning points of the day, or like the lesson for the day, and it would be for something that I really like to do now is duplicating meshes to create details. So this one, all these stage items are like two geometries, like this. Two geometries, and like if you look at it without like the doubling effect, you can see like, oh, it looks quite alright. But when you add like the double layer, or maybe even, because this one's really done, so I'm not going to adjust it. We can see like how it instantly creates just like a little bit more detail and finishes the look very fast. So it's like an efficient way of creating more detailed looks for simple stylized things. And also just the use of repeaters. I really love repeaters a lot. So because this was also a birthday card for my niece. And, oh god, what have I done? Yes, what have you done? Barbatos will go down in history forever. So because this was a birthday card for my niece. Look at that, it's so fucking cute. So it's like, it's all about, and it's not my personal art projects, and these are more of like practicing sculpts to learn new things, or like new efficient ways, things that I wouldn't have thought of doing for my very highly detailed organic sculpts. So because it's a birthday card, and like the aim of it is to do it faster, like just spend as little time as I can, but like with the high quality. So using radial really helps to like just create a lot of these. And because the cheeks have like a slight tilt like this, then even if like it's duplicated like that, it kind of looks alright. Like it looks dynamic still. Like they all look like they're all having a ballet performance, and so they're all doing the same pose and stuff. And like, let's say when I give this to my niece and I bought Nomad Sculpt for them on the iPad, then she can play around with this and set it to any number that she wants to do this. Because they don't know how to sculpt, but I'm sure that they will know how to play around with these things. Cute. Oh my god, it's so cute. What the hell? Fucking cute, man. Looks nice to me. Thank you. I really like this. There's also one other thing that I realized is during the start of the stream, the end of the stream, I was setting up the lighting, and I said that I kind of prefer like the look of the spotlight effect on Hello Kitty. But like, I guess I end up liking just like overall increased exposure. Oh my god, what the hell? Oh, this is fucking cute. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not really sure who Haro is. Wait, let me... And then, oh, this is so cute. It feels like... It feels like she's juggling them. So yeah, I think especially for this stream, that looks cursed. What? No, it's not. It's like an aerial performance. But yeah, it does look cursed. Oh wait, if you're talking about Hello Kitty's, oh my god, the sun's so intense. Hello Kitty's head. Yeah. Curse birthday card. Yeah, so also especially for doing like the live streams, then yeah, it's just it's just a lot better to make everything more uniformly bright, so that I don't have like the overexposed brightness and all that stuff. Let me see. Where is this? Hit tiara. I guess I don't really have a good way of doing this. And this is so cute. Thank you for all the useful suggestions. It's a cute little ball shape. Let me look up Haro. Oh, this thing. Okay. That's true. Maybe I'll add like a Haro ball at some point. Somehow I feel a bit. Yeah, I just looked on the Haro and like, oh, it's that one. It's like I like stuff like Gundams and all this stuff, but maybe because like I like too many things, I just don't remember like details and stuff, and like sometimes it just makes me feel like I'm not a true fan of anything. Like I think a lot of people would know a lot. I like Dark Souls stuff and like From Software games, but like for one thing, I don't have time to play them that much, and I don't really like remember a lot of things from them. I just like the vibe. I just remember the vibe mainly. So like if you ask me details on like FromSoft stuff, it's like I don't really know. It makes me feel like fraud. I guess the way that can I save this? Maybe I should save this. Let me just save this as like for fun. Oh, I guess I just call it stream fun. It's today the 11th. My sense of time is gone. But like, so the way that I show my love for things is to just make the art for them, and I guess it makes me feel a little bit more relieved that like, oh, I really do like the things that I like. Even though I don't really know as much as like other fans will like them. Okay, back to Gundam stuff. Second men's sculpt for Bandai. Yeah, I guess that's why I see it a lot, and that's why I recognize it. Look at this Barbatos. Making your dreams come true. KZ, LC. I need to work on like I think like just for context, I've been doing like a lot of learning how to paint and all this stuff. So I've been doing more like these kind of things. Look at this, so fucking cute. Anyway, just learning how to paint is like torturous, but managed to finish something, which is like impossible for me. But hello, so cute. But I just need some time to orientate myself again. to finish this up. I think initially I wanted to get like the manual to like bring this to completion, but I think I'll just like add my own I'll just add my own details because like it's quite close and I don't really need this to be like that accurate or anything. It's just a birthday card. So I'm going to, for one thing, let me see, let's set up properly. I'll just like make sure all these things are not low resolution. Make sure that I cover the gaps and stuff like this. So because this one is the inner frame, I probably don't really need to do that much work for this, but I can still create a more hard surface texture. You have a custom kit. Oh, it sounds like a nice color. Man, like when I see people doing kit bashing, like it looks so cool. Sounds fun. With a bit of purple. Maybe if I want to do a Gundam with her, then I'll change his like color profile to the pink and purples too. Okay. So the way that I'm planning to just hit this relatively fast would be to use the flatten tool. Like this. Because what flatten tool can create is like it's this kind of, it's very subtle, and I think it's too bright again. It's like this kind of plane change, like you can see one line, another line here. It's, oh yeah, like you can see it better here. So you create these kind of plane changes and it will flatten out these areas like this. I need to like, let's say this area here. And then this side maybe. Yeah, as usual, I don't really have a clue. Oh, I need to make sure that symmetry is all on. I don't have a clue what I am doing because, like I said, this is something new. It's like new territory for me. But the main thing for, can you stay open? The main thing for let me focus on getting these. For like hard surface, is like less of these kind of round things. So sometimes the barrel roll is a bit weird. So hopefully with the flatten tool, I can create things like that. And that's what I'm going to hit most of the sculpt today with. And I have the paint switched off because I have the painting done, like as a test, and they're quite distracting. So I'm going to just clean up. I think I should probably, I'm not sure whether I binded my, where is it? Yeah, I haven't bind this. I'll just bind the flatten tool to one of my keys because I'm using it a lot. So I have a hotkey on my macropad which I just assign to wherever, like this one has to be shown. I just bind it to wherever a tool, like random tool that I'm using a lot at the current, what's that called? The current project, because I realized that with different projects, sometimes I'm using like the painting brush more, sometimes I'm doing more, like in this case, I'm doing more flat surface. So normally I don't use flatten tool, but for this case, I'm like, maybe I'll try use flatten tool for this sculpt. So I'm just spending a lot more time to make sure that the details are where I want them to be compared to the previous stream where I was, what was I doing? Oh, like when I was like just going at it more of a big picture kind of thing, because I was doing more of a first pass sculpting for that specific session. And normally for first pass, it's like you don't want to spend too much time going at it in a detail level. And then now I can, now that the shapes are more or less correct, or at least to me it's like it's good enough, then now is the time when I start going into like the macro detail. I really like this shape. It's all about learning time management for this kind of things. And probably because of my history of like, I really like to do detailed stuff, but I noticed over the years it just, like, it wasn't good spending so much time at one area, like one tiny area, and then realizing that I just lost so much time and I haven't like done much. So I'm just adding a bit of like a variation here, just for fun. I don't know whether it's good, but it's not bad. Then I can maybe do this on the edges with the flatten tool. And then keep this, it's very subtle, but like this one plane change. And then this is another plane change. And then check the different sides as well, because they need to look good at all angles. And this one's not really that important because it's in between two pieces, like this side view. But I think at least for the top side, I think I want to make sure that it looks good, just for a peace of mind. Just adding the things that I usually do for my sculpts. Just this kind of detailing, and then I guess flatten it a bit. Let me see how much. Yeah, you don't really see that much on the side, so. And then very important for hard surfaces be to make sure that the corners are sharp. I don't know whether I need to go at it a second time for the paint. Maybe I might need to. So I think this one is not too bad. Maybe I'll add some more detailing in the way that I like, because it's very important to like add your own personal taste to stuff. Just makes it like a lot more fun that way. Keeps the motivation up. I think one of the common things that I hear people tell me is like, oh, like like it's so good that you have the motivation to do things or like to learn things, because I don't. I mean, like someone else would say it to me. That's a very common thing that I hear from other people. But so like I would think about it a lot because I hear it a lot. And I feel like there's been so many times when I'll lose interest in things, especially when it comes to painting. And so that's why I never really learned how to paint because I just don't have the motivation to. I just don't know what I want to paint. And I realized like with sculpting, it's just, yeah, somehow I just find a lot of motivation to do the things that I like. And I realized that's because I just keep putting myself in situation and like creating situations where like I enjoy the process a lot. I think that's like kind of a skill that has to be built up over time. Like you don't just find motivation. I mean, like I think when people say like oh, it's so cool that you have motivation, it's not inherent. Like it's not it doesn't come naturally for me. I realize that it's more of I create situations where I enjoy doing the things that I do that gets me through the hard times. And I think that's like an important thing to remind myself all the time, that I need to create these situations where I'm enjoying the things that I do, because it's going to be really hard, especially like right now. Like honestly, sometimes detailing is like one of the harder process, because like I just like to do stuff fast and then once I start going through the details, it's like, oh man, like everything is so slow. And I think I have a fear of like just being too slow. Actually, that looks, oh no. Actually, that looks quite cool. Yeah, sometimes the drag tool gives me cool results that I wouldn't think of doing. That's, I think it's a bit too bright, but there are a bunch of like surface detail that I've done on this, like scratches and stuff. So I'm keeping them by making them a bit more high res. So you can see with the flatten tool, I can just like flatten things. I'll probably go at it again to create like more high definition, what's it called? More high definition scratches later on. The main thing now is to create a uniform, like I have to finish this by 7 p.m. That's when I need to pass this over. And oh, this is so pretty. So I'm just thinking like, what can I do in that? Like to me it feels like a short time, but I feel like I should probably, like it's very doable to finish before then, because I still need to spend some time to do, what's it called, outline an organization for some stuff. Okay, like speaking of Gundams, like I feel like I've never really gotten the motivation to really work on painting them up and all this stuff. So I guess the other thing is also like I feel like it's quite difficult, like the thing of panel lining and all these things that I feel like I can't undo once I've done them. So there are many things that I don't have motivation to do. So it's quite cool that I'm finding motivation to do it in 3D sculpting. So I'm going to just like just build this up like this. Not sure whether it's alright. Maybe I'll just curve it in like this. Yeah, I'm trying to find my motivation to learn how to paint. I think I'm slowly finding that motivation by painting over my sculpts, like 3D stuff, because it's less intimidating that way. But it's still really difficult. I get really anxious all the time when it comes to painting things. Like I just posted one of the paint overs, I mean the one that I just showed in the start of the stream, to my Instagram, but it's like it feels really scary. Honestly, I guess like the fear comes from it not being good enough, which like it makes sense. I haven't spent the time to paint or anything, but still like the fear is there. But this is also something else that I'm practicing to just like post more stuff regardless of the fear of being bad. I think that looks nice, and it matches up to this part right here, so I think that's good. I just want to finish up this last piece like this. And then maybe do this, and then let's use the flatten brush to create some plane changes like this. I'm not sure whether, yeah, I guess it's visible. I think sometimes it's nice to create like a twist in with the flatten tool. So like not just like straight on like this, because I want to add some of my artistic vibe into it. So I'm going to like kind of rotate around as I'm flattening. And this is just the way that I sculpt, so it's quite personal, like quite personalized to the way that I do things. I'm also procrastinating making my next tutorial. But I think now that I've posted one of my paint overs online on my Instagram, I think I will I will sit myself down. Sit my ass down and just like work on it, just like face my fears. No point in dwelling in my own anxiety. You just get the shit done. I think what's wrong with you? So I'm just flattening these areas because it's quite hidden, but I'll work on like just creating that sharp edge that he needs. I think this is a quite a fast way to turn anything very organic into quite hard surface. And then make sure that I add some detail here because it's visible. Actually, why is this part visible? Like, shouldn't it just close up? Like, it can kind of look quite what's that, detailed, this sculpt, and a lot of time. I guess, like, honestly, this doing things like this instead of sculpting it purely hard surface, it's a lot faster for me. Just flatten this, flatten this, flatten this part, this part. Maybe flatten this part. See, I don't really know what to do with the corners, but I think I'll just drag them around to make them more hidden, I guess. Let's just like move these two together too. Yeah, I don't feel like it's a bit messy, so maybe I'll do this. And then just creating tiny divots like that is a really efficient way of creating really fast details. I think if like the previous I think the second previous stream when I was working on this, if that one is about how to like sculpt efficiently for the first pass, then this stream is about sculpting with more intention to create efficient details, I guess. I guess that's good enough. I feel like I'm not exactly happy with this. I think that's better. So I hope that this two, like, I hope that the two different streams, like I initially was like, do I stream this refining session? And I'm like, oh yeah, I should, because it is quite different from doing first passes. Let's use the flatten tool. Let's work on this one a bit. The same thing. This one's a bit quite it's quite thin, so I should be a bit more careful. The way that I also kind of realized that the way, do I like this? Is it cool? Maybe. I guess I'll just keep it. So you can see, like with the crease tool, when working on thin edges, sometimes it creates artifacting like this. Sometimes I just keep it as part of the design. But when it comes to sculpting, the first pass versus the detailing part, like I feel like I do work a bit differently. It's just like an intuition that I feel. So I think that looks pretty cool. Because I was thinking like this part doesn't really match up with the other parts, but I also don't really want to lose this simple shape. So for the other end, I'm just going to do a very simple design, a very simple flare like that. Then I think this should be enough. And then the flatten tool to exaggerate the planes. Just be careful not to like do so much that it turns into a circle again. So something like this. So maybe this one I want to stretch it a bit more like that, just to fill up a little bit of this area here, because like I think this one looks a bit imbalanced, and just add a little bit of add a bit of curve onto different angles like this. And then that's this part done. I think this one I can exaggerate the ends. I think I do have to redo the painting for them later on. And then make sure that the overall silhouette looks good, because sometimes when adding details and changing up stuff, the overall shape can be like just doesn't fit up with the rest. Like sometimes the first pass, like it's a lot easier to create like the overall flow of the sculpt, but with and then once you go into detail, or like at least when I go into detailing, then it feels like like I'll be so obsessed with trying to create the perfect shape for the detail, and then when I zoom out, it looks like off compared to like the neighboring shapes and the flow of the interaction between the different shapes. So after correction, then I always go in to make. Do I need to extend this? Maybe I need to extend this. Maybe I'll just use the gizmo tool. Wait, if it's a gizmo tool, then I need to extend all of them. Because they're all instances of each other. So wherever changes I make to one of them, it will reflect on the others. And then just make sure that maybe it's just better to extend it out with drag tool. So there are a few reasons why the gizmo tool wouldn't affect the shape of the others like this. So sometimes when I want to make changes, like mass changes, it's a lot better to do it with the drag tool. I mean, with the sculpting tools. So I'm thinking, do I want this one? But then it kind of feels like it clashes with this. So I'll do it the other way, like that. But I think I'll do it a bit more subtle like that, just to make them look more distinct in parts. I always have to consider these kind of things when sculpting with details, because I'm like a huge offender of like adding a lot of similar details to different areas, and then when I zoom out, like everything just looks the same. So that's something that I've been trying to practice, like just trying to fix that issue that I have. Well, like, and also because I'm not planning things out with sketching or like drafting beforehand. Like everything is done quite freehand on the spot. So because of that, I just need to keep like a mental like reminder to make sure that different things have a distinct look, but at the same time they still look cohesive by, like, for one thing, just add details that are like visible in other areas. So like I'm kind of copying this area, or like this area, to this one. So that is that's how I create the two matching parts, and then doing some tweaks to the different areas just so that they're a bit distinct. I think that's too symmetrical. Yeah, just create very similar but not the same, and then it will help to keep everything gel together. So this part is kind of done. I just need to like go at it a little bit more like that. This part is a bit dodgy. So if you use the flatten tool on edges like this, then it'll create a plane change like that. Hello, some user. Welcome back. Thanks for the heart. Let me return it to you. Thank you. And is it hidden? Which is quite cute. Let me just... Oh my god, I feel like whenever I want to intentionally do something, then I feel like I keep messing up. Let's bring this up to cover the gaps. And let me see. I guess they should come up even more. I guess the shape is a bit weird still. And then I should make it go outwards like this. Like that. And yes, the thing is, like, this one's still a bit too blocky, so maybe I'll do that push in, and that looks good, I guess. This one is still, maybe I have to push this out a bit more. At this point I'm just like, oh, I should flatten this a bit more. At this point I'm just moving things around so that they look good. So it's not super accurate to the original thing. But it's more of like how much time I'm willing to spend. And this corner is not a corner, so let's just quickly create a corner for this. And maybe extend this down. This one's in the way. Well, of course I should still reference the... What's this? I should still reference this. I guess it's quite straight. Just for the overall look of it. And then for the body, because it's just like a dark gray material and stuff, I'm not going to spend that much time on it, but I'll just try to create like these kind of facets on the different planes. And I guess just learning how to create visually appealing facets, which is quite hard. So I just want to try to create like the back muscles. So maybe shape out the shape of the lats. And then because I'm climbing and I'm finally doing upper body work, so I've been slowly learning the back muscles because they are like super sore the next day. So just shaping those kind of things and put more diagonals. because it's not nice to have straight lines. And then let's just fix this up a bit. So this one is not really that visible, but it should still look. You know what, I might just split this up. Maybe it's fine. Maybe I just add like some random thing. And then maybe flatten this. I don't know. Because this one is really not that visible. I want to put the least effort on and time on this one. Maybe something like this, just as like a cool attachment. Something like this. Like some sort of semi-organic attachments. Like that. Because I think it's just the top part is more visible, because it's like the side plate over there. Then I think I can just flatten out the others. I don't know whether it does anything. I don't know whether it makes it any better. So it's, I guess those two are done. Maybe I'll add more traps to this. Just go back to the colored portion a bit quickly so that I can see the silhouette a bit better. So traps, broad shoulders, and then I don't know, some divot like that, and then maybe I don't know, pegs. Actually, would the pegs be lower? Maybe serratus and teres. And then just flatten things so that they look a bit more hard surface. Just to create like more visual interest in these areas that are not that visible. Just quick, and then it will help with the painting later on, because the way that I paint, it uses the information of the surface normals to create details. So just make sure that everything looks good in the different angles. And this part is still quite this part's really it's really like squiggly, so I need to really work on this part. Maybe I'll go in. I find like when working with all these corner areas, like really detailed corners, it's better to have like both planes in view so that when you're sculpting, you're working on both angles. Because if you're just working like this, then it's very hard to see like what you're doing on this side. Then using the drag tool, just create a little bit of sharpness to the corners. Although I don't really know whether I like it, but it's not too bad, I guess. And using the flatten brush to remove all the very curved areas, because that's what's making a lot of the areas look really not hard surface. So maybe I think this one's a bit too I feel like it should maybe come out a bit more. Maybe like that, because I'm also looking at the silhouette of the negative shape of the M. So I'm also keeping in mind like what the letter M looks like as I'm doing this. So I think this would be one of the slower parts, because the M is quite a detailed area. Like I'll say like it's a delicate area. So I'm just putting more care into it. But after the M is done, I think everything else should be more straightforward. feel like there's so many things that I don't really like about this. So just being as delicate as I can. Then the inner part is also quite, because it's a lot thinner, it's quite a difficult area. Making sure that the areas like this is quite flat, because this is a hard surface and it's supposed to like just curve like that. Although I feel like the center part is becoming a bit like it's going to, it's like shorter than these areas here. So maybe I will, yeah, so I've inflated it a bit and went, or like maybe I can drag tool it, just push it out a bit more. Then smooth this out. And then flatten this a bit more. So the harder parts, which is the harder part, which is this one, it's almost done. Just need to finish this. Just adding some detail so that it's not so straight. just details for fun. And then what else? Alright, the corners are quite rounded, so I need to work on just sharpening these and flattening them. So let's flatten. And then when the flatten can't really get into the small areas, then just using the drag tool to finalize the shape. Checking the side view just to make sure that it's all right. Then checking the M silhouette. I think it's a little bit off. So maybe I'll do this. I guess like that. And I guess fix up this thing here, because I just noticed that it's quite rounded. Yeah, something like that. Actually, this one is quite low down. I just sharpen this a bit like that, and then maybe squeeze it a bit more. And maybe I add a shot, like a small divot there, just so that it creates a nice attention to detail. Like that. And that is the done. I'm going to remove the color now and just work on this really messy part. Also make sure that I'm not undoing the progress that I've done there. So this one's a bit like these areas are so big, they are open for any kind of detailing. So it's just about like trying a brush stroke, and then if I like it, I'll just keep it. I don't really have to think too much about it. And then do this. Make sure that this part is in like that, because it's hard surface. And then do the same kind of detailing on this. Oops. and make sure that it's, because I want the details to be more visible, then I'm going to cheat a bit and just pull this down and pull this up, and then use the flatten tool to create the plane changes. I guess for the corners, I kind of need to use the crease tool to create the flat changes. And then the same thing for here. Like this, and then maybe like sometimes if the curve is like this, I want to maybe do like 2 bumps on the next one. So that's what I'm doing. So like 1 bump, 2 bumps. Just a fast way to create non-symmetrical shapes. Seems like it should go in a bit more. So maybe I'll go like 1 more layer down. And then I'll use the flatten tool to flatten these areas. I feel like spending too much time on this because it's quite difficult for me. Your planner tool can be a good way to work on these hard surfaces too. I think planner tool is like a bit more aggressive. It's called like move and drag tool. Let's just move on. So if I find one place quite difficult, then I'm just going to move on to something else that may seem a bit easier and just like keep my eyes off that one for now. So I think I'll like start decimating because it's, or maybe I'll switch off Procreate and then maybe I'll just clear my RAM first. And let's do this part faster. Something like this. Because I think they're not all visible. And then do this, maybe flatten this part. I still don't really know what to do with corners. And then I guess I'll just flatten these areas. Like this. And for the ends, I tend to prefer them to go out a little bit more. So what's the shape of this? Then I will work on this one a bit, although I think this one is not too bad. I just need to flatten some parts. I'm really not the best hard surface modeler out there. But I think it's all about like keeping the balance of what I like to do and learning something new, and also, is that cool? No, it's not. And also just being aware that I am still like learning some stuff, like it may not be the most efficient, but like just becoming like 1% better at doing hard surface is like still better than 0%, and that is what I tend to want to focus on. Because I think putting the pressure of like becoming the absolute best at something, it's just like, it's too much for me, and then I just end up not doing anything. So just think about how you're like a few hours before doing something. I'm always just like really focused on becoming better than the version of me a few hours before. So I know with this hard surface stuff, I don't want to go like too curved like this. So that is a very small thing, like very minor thing that I just picked up a few seconds ago. And I'm trying to incorporate it to the way that I'm sculpting right now. So it's just like small lessons like that. And then corners, it's always important to so it's very important to make sure that they're sharp. Then if it's too like right angle, then I can just do a little bit of flattening like that. And the same thing for this. I want this part to be sharp. And make sure that these areas here are covering the gaps. And then there's the inner side, so it's not super visible. But I'll still want to do like some minimum detailing there. Maybe I'll like bend this a little bit like this, although it's a bit too centralized, so maybe I'll do it a bit higher up. like that. And then add a bit of curve, add a bit of curve on this one, sharpen this edge, bring it out a bit so that it's not like that hidden by the intersection. And I guess this part is not too bad. I just need to flatten. You know what, maybe I'll flatten this. Or maybe I'll crease inwards. Then maybe flatten this part. I think that's enough for this. Let me fix up this a little bit. Just make it less flary. Like this. Flatten these areas here. Flatten. Then make sure that the overall shape is nice from different angles, because this is the face. I think that looks pretty nice. This one I haven't really touched it, so let's just quickly, it's a bit of an upturn. Checking the shapes. As it kind of follows the shape of the eye. So sharpen. The inside doesn't really matter. then just creating a little bit of shape to this, and then sharpness in the corner. Then let's fix this up a bit. Sometimes when things are like merging to each other, I try to follow the details on the neighboring geometries. Just so that they look like they are intentionally matching each other. Then a quick flattening. Some edging. So let's edge this, and then it kind of merges into this shape, which has no curve, but it's more narrow at the top. Then this one, just try to do the same stuff like that, and then flatten like this. And then try to make this side view a bit more pretty. Then work on these edges here. Make sure that they're turning the right way. And so push this in a bit so that it's not so curved. And then there's the mouth part here. So maybe I'll just use the brush tool with a small like this, and then the mouth part is a lot better now. Because it's a lot more work than I thought, so although it's kind of like, I was thinking of using this for my personal projects too. So like, I can just work on refining more of these things later on. So I just work on like the bigger things. And I guess like these areas are not too bad actually. probably looks bad to like a hard surface modeler, but to me, I think it looks good enough. So, flatten tool to create all these face changes. And then maybe I'll make this a bit like this, just to make it look nicer. Then this one also the same thing. The overall shape is not bad, I just need to flatten out the plane changes. And then make this a bit neater by sharpening it a bit. And adding a little bit of like twists and turns here and there. And then this one I think is the same thing. Here everything's the same, it's just I always feel so focused when I have the pressure of deadlines. And then I will maybe like create a plane change here, over here. Oh, forgot to so plane change here. just going to add some like surface details on this because I don't have much time. So just like a brush planner tool with like some random alpha. And then flatten, flatten. I think I'm just not going to do much of this one. I'm just going to use the texture brush again and just I guess I just learned something new, like creating these texture does like make it look quite hard surface like pretty fast. Quite surprised, I guess. You just need to make sure that they're not looking too symmetrical or anything. Like the back view really doesn't matter. I think there's like some yellow arrows here, so I'll just duplicate this one and move it down like this just to like quickly make these things, and then I can trim this up to just reduce the poly count. Like this, and then when it's colored, I'll get one of these colors here and paint these up later on. So that's done. Just need to make sure that this edge is quite sharp. Like I think there's some wrong shapes on this, but it doesn't really matter. Because these are all the back side and stuff. Just making sure that I'm adding some detail to the visible sides, and then making sure that these areas are nicely shaped, and this one is just make sure that the shapes are correct. Then I guess I'm quite tired by now, so I'm going to just fix up this side here. I guess it's good that I spend some time to work on this part right here. And before I finish it off, I'm going to paint a little bit before I go. I feel like time flies when I need to finish something. It's partly like time flying because it's really fun to do these kind of things, but at the same time I'm like, oh no, my deadline is approaching. You know what? This shoulder plate is like on this side. Maybe I just leave it alone. It's not too bad, and it's like at the peripheral vision, so I'm just going to do as much as I can very fast. Okay. I don't give a shit anymore. Okay. So I think... oh wait, there's one missing piece. I think that's almost it. Just need to sharpen this edge. It's getting close. And I feel like the problem with this specific piece is that because I was using mirroring, so I need to flatten this side down here so that it doesn't look too like mirrored, and just add like a different detail. So like it's keeping the same intentions, but it's not like too similar. And then let's just flatten this area like this, and sharpen this a bit. Let's create this shape over here. Just so that it kind of like matches up with the neighboring object, which is this one. And then add some texture to this. Like really mild texture because the object's being mirrored to the other side. So I don't want the texture to be like too obvious, and then the mirroring is like really obvious over here. Then the same thing. I think this one forgot to flatten. But I guess it doesn't really matter anymore. And then just like same thing. I'm just like adding some minor textures and like scratch marks and stuff and then like smoothing out different areas, because they are very simple. You're just using the same brush over and over again. But sometimes the way that you smooth specific things will change the look of the scratches and stuff. I mean, which area that you smooth will change the look of it. So something like that. Actually, this one is quite rounded. Need to fix this. And let's just flatten it a bit and lift up the bottom side. I feel like this one, completely forgot about this, but I think it's alright. So I think overall is good enough for a birthday card. And then now I will paint this up properly. So using the filter with the keep sharp edges, I'm going to start painting. So with like metal, the metal look, I want to create like a hard surface gray like this, just to fake some reflections. And then I've added the new surface textures like this. So I'm just adding like a light touch of color just to make like the surface changes, the plane changes more obvious and stuff like that. And then for areas like this where the resolution is not that high and the pixelate, then just smudge it to reduce the pixelation. Smudge. It just helps to create a really like cheat your way into higher resolution. Hang on, this feels so much more chill than like sculpting. It always feels nice when like the hard work is over and now I'm just enjoying the more mindless process. I mean, there's still a lot of thought to have, but it's a lot kind of like it's simpler to think about than like thinking about plane changes and stuff. And then I'll make some parts a bit red. And this is just to like introduce some color bleeding, kind of like faking bleeding this over to the material beside it. I find this helps a lot to integrate pieces, especially with like Nomad Sculpt, where like it's nice that there's the real-time rendering effects, but like there's like limitations of like, let's say you only have 4 lighting, and then like in some sense the rendering is not like I find the ambient occlusion a bit like lacking to me for my stuff, and so I find that this is just a great way for me to fake in all the things that I find lacking in the lighting. And just like creating that shadow. Making sure that I'm selecting the plane facing that, like the opposite way of the light, and then using the white to do the opposite side, and then eyedropping colors nearby just to get the colors I want. And then this is like where I really like to do like ambient occlusion, like fake ambient occlusion like this, and then just like smudge it out a bit. Then this one, I really like how the colors of the yellow and the blue interact. So you can see that I'm intentionally adding more yellows and more blues than it would kind of naturally have. Then for the yellows, I think I want a bit brighter on, not sure. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think that looks nice. And because I have all these plane changes, I can paint on like the specific normals and then do this for the shadowing ambient occlusion thing. So it just makes it like pop even more. You can see that. I think same thing with this one. Because when we when we are like smoothing out stuff from like editing the geometries, the detailing is also quite, the paint is also affected when you smooth out things. So I'm just going over things again, remove symmetry, and then just painting. Sometimes I will just use a texture brush. It's the same alpha that I use for making all the scratches. And then just like go over the places. You can see like now the flatten tool, it is very useful for large areas like this, and then you paint with this filter and keep sharp edges. It's so useful for just creating like instant textures for like what would otherwise be quite a boring, very super flat area. It's kind of like just free textures, I guess. And then let me see. This one's a bit messy, so let me just redo this part. So adding the shadows, and then maybe adding a bit of the purple just for like a color variation. So I like to do this a lot too. And then sometimes you can even put like color changes at the like the plane change at the where it just changes, something like that. Although it's not really that visible right now, but maybe it's more visible with this. So like color changes, maybe a lower opacity. You can see like it feels more reflective like this. It's like as if this material is reflecting the colors because it's metallic. So something like this. And then this one, same thing. I'll add at different areas. Like this, and then this one. It's just like some sort of like fake reflection going on. I don't really know whether I want it. Just experimentations. Something like this. And I guess I did work on this section here. So I'll add some paint like here. Get the paint onto this. And then get this very bright color too. The plane change is not that obvious there, so. And then for this one, just sharpen this like panel lining. Like this. This one has to go in. You're almost done. And then final one is this. Something like this. This one is too blue. So I'm going to smudge it out like that. This one too. And then paint in a little bit. Just make sure that the colors are not too muddy. And then the final thing, oops, this one is final thing will be to add some ambient occlusion to the back side, just so that it's not so and interaction colors, and then make sure that the colors here are less green. And it's done. Thank you for tuning in to this live stream. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I shall clean out the file and whatever to pass it on. Yeah, it's done. So thank you for tuning in. I hope that this session is useful for showing just like how I work on the second stage of sculpting things. And I hope that you have fun in doing whatever you're sculpting. And if you're an organic sculptor like me, then try and do some hard surface sometime in a while. And I think it'll be fun and you will learn a lot. So I'll see you